Good evening, mortals. I just dodged a bullet. Hello, everyone. welcome to welcome to stream. Oh, thank you, Nihilus. Cheers. We're playing Exalted tonight, aren't we? Everyone, especially Witch.
We are.
Hello.
Dicks.
Dicks indeed, Witch. Dicks indeed. Guys, I have great news for you, my friend and fellow party members.
Are we gonna suffer today?
No, you're gonna resolve a storyline in a way that will be easy and satisfying to pick yourself back up from the horrible, horrible mess that you've been in. And I have more fun news that I'm gonna tell everyone now that we're actually live. I have someone who's gonna come in and help me do some NPC voices.
Ooh.
Got a paid actor?
Well, I mean, kind of?
Is it an unpaid intern?
No, it's my wife, who I kind of pay because, like, we share finances.
Definitely a paid intern, then.
No, she's a real woman that I married. Anyway, thank you, Blackthorn. Yeah, so I was talking to wife about the campaign, and she was interested in doing some NPC voices. So probably after this storyline, I'll bring her in to do some voices. And I'm getting yelled at by wife. No, I didn't tell anyone that you're coming to do voices, dear. Okay, guys, she bought it. No one say anything. Thank you for that, Scald. I appreciate it. I'll do that right now.
Pleased to meet you, Jorb. My name is No One.
What?
Just an Odyssey joke.
Oh, okay. An Odyssey?
Yeah, Odyssey joke.
Like...
pleased to meet you. My name is Nobody.
Like what?
You told
Odyssey?
nobody that...
What Odyssey? There's so many.
Homer's Odyssey, the original one.
Yeah.
But the other one's
okay. Yeah. That's
the OG pissing off the gods and getting trapped in the sea.
I mean, sure.
And then telling a Cyclops that your name is Nobody. So he says, nobody did this to me.
Right. I remember now.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah. Okay. I definitely know my Greek history because I read about it in school and for no other reason. Okay. Thank you for that. Blackthorn was thinking 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I was actually thinking of the same Odyssey, but I wasn't thinking about this Cyclops part. Nihilus just donated a bit for the last stream Jorb ever does, because of the wife thing. Anyway, yeah, guys, welcome to Exalted.
Yay.
How's everyone feeling tonight?
Sanguine.
I
right?
absolutely love that response.
Saccharin.
Saccharin? That's
Yes.
You know that's bad, right?
Yeah. A saccharin in the sense of sugary in this case. The newer meaning.
Because saccharin means you appear okay, but not okay.
Yeah. I'm actually not there. That's good.
Okay, moving right along from that train wreck of a statement. How's I hate to do this to you, but Aki, how are you?
Papa.
Oh, wife is asking a question on stream. Yes.
Are planters supposed to have holes in them?
Yes, planters are supposed to have holes in them. It's for the water to drain out if it overfills.
That's what I thought. I have to make holes.
Oh. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by wife. Wife is very pretty. I don't know if you guys know that.
Gay?
Yes, Saki, it is gay month. Yesterday we literally played a gay on stream.
I know. I was there.
I know you were there. I know you know.
Yeah. I know you know I know.
Nope, not doing this. Thank you,
Sounds
Scald, for the
incredibly
gay
gay.
dollar. I understand that I, as a corporation, am supposed to be chasing those this month.
Does it cost more or less than the regular dollar? A dollar.
It costs
I mean, the
slightly
straight dollar.
more. Slightly more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is it a biblical slip instead of a Freudian slip? When you do that?
Everything
No.
I say is a Freudian slip. What are you talking about?
No, but that one went a little farther back.
I'd say that was more of a capitalist thing than a homophobic
your
thing.
daughter?
So it would be more of a Mr.
Capitalism?
Monopoly. Okay, I've been told to get on with it by chat. All right, we're playing Exalted tonight. Thank you for being here, Pattern Spiders. I appreciate you. We are going to be resolving the pipeline. Now, this is a player-run storyline that the players have been running in Blue Booking, which is that thing they keep complaining that I don't give them enough of. So I gave them a month, and the first post on that announcement was, "That's a suspicious amount of time." So fucking, there's no pleasing some people. Anyway, I want to start this a little bit differently in that I want to talk about the storyline and kind of get chat up to, or the Pattern Spiders up to speed. So, Scald and Aki, you were the ones who were running it most. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys want to talk about it a little bit so everyone knows what's going on?
Go.
All right.
If you wouldn't mind.
So, way back, before session 1, James and Mercy met at a fundraiser for St. Al's, where a local city councillor had been skimming money and using tax breaks to kind of fuel his own work, I suppose. He was using his position to also enable a local human trafficking and contraband smuggling ring. So Mercy and James had kind of been led on to this through that investigation. A little while later, after we had put that particular fellow behind bars, Mercy and James found out that the pipeline had moved their operation up to a city a little farther north on the island. They broke into it, got some accounting black books, and also freed a shipping crate full of human trafficking victims, with the help of one of James's rich buddies, more or less. Anything I'm missing important there, Aki?
Not really. Like, that's pretty much all we were doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
During this, Mercy was able to get information about the security company at this dock that they had gone to. And after that, a little while later, we had planned a heist to go and get as much information as we could from that headquarters that Mercy had been able to find, which was for Tracker Security Firm. And we had kind of put this off for a while, so I guess today's the day we're getting to do it.
Yeah.
So, you guys are going to get a notice from. So you guys get a email from no sender.
I think Jordan might be talking to chat. If he's talking to us, we can't hear him.
No, I was talking to you, but I forgot I was on push to talk. So now I look dumb for many reasons, not just the generalized shape of my skull. Anyway,
Don't worry, Jordan. At least 3 people saw that.
Yeah, I know. I can also see the viewer count. Anyway, so you guys get an email with no sender, immediately followed by I am piping up. And I am says, so in there, apparently security has massively increased at the at your pipeline buddy's house. I think something big is going down there.
Well, the last time I was around there was they were getting they were customizing a limo. I wouldn't be surprised if they're bringing in the dockmaster.
I don't know. Some of these guys, take a look at the pictures.
Okay. What's in the pictures?
So some of the security are tracker security, and they look cut professional, like very serious security. You note there are a number of MP5s in this picture, and the number is more than usual. But there are also some other security guys, or they at least look very similar in that they're wearing the same, like, I'm a normal person, don't pay attention to me suit, and they have some rather heavy armaments on them. They look like kind of a cut above, like the kind of security you'd expect for a foreign dignitary or like the president kind of thing. Very, very serious looking guys.
Ooh, this looks fun.
So Jay, do we all go in suits today? Should we make it a full suit day?
I think so.
All right.
Well,
Your
let's-
your audio keeps shifting pretty badly there, Scald.
Sorry.
Need you to sit still, buddy.
Okay. So it looks like we're gonna need to do a little research on what's really going on. See if we can find out who's coming in.
I am pipes up and says, so do you mind if I take a look at their books, or...
I don't know.
And then you see I am pulls a face and then goes, oh, never mind, here you go. And you receive another email. This one also from an no sender. And this one is just a picture of a guy. It's a picture of a guy in a sunny country somewhere, a lot of bright stone, that sort of thing. But the shot is taken at night, and he's surrounded by the same security folks that you're looking at now. However, the only difference is that this photo is in black and white, and it was taken quite some time ago. You actually note that two of the security guys you could see are the same as the ones in this picture. They don't look like they've aged a day.
Uh-oh.
What do you make of that?
I am says, well, considering I don't know who sent this email, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess you've got a helping hand somewhere, and also that those guys are probably not humans.
Elisha says vampires.
Could be. Sure. I don't know. They don't usually post on the internet. Oh, actually they do. They post on the internet a lot. And also, they are really, really good at decryption. Oh, but I'm better. Wait, can I look at vampires' files? Is that morally okay?
I have no idea. As a lawyer, I would say no.
Okay. I won't then. I'll just leave their whole network they've got set up here. Just leave it in the dark. This whole massive network about all the vampire stuff.
I got a feeling that I am really wants to get into people's privacy.
I don't see what the big deal is. Like, so sometimes it's okay to violate people's privacy, but sometimes it's not. And the distinction seems really arbitrary. Like, if I ask most people, they say, no, it's never okay. But then I ask some people and they say, well, except in this scenario, and this scenario, and this scenario. But it depending on who you ask, you get different answers. So it's really hard to draw a line. So I don't understand it. But also, I'm trying to, I don't want to be the edgy god of the internet does terrible things and violent. I don't want to be Google.
I'm just laughing.
Joaquin looks pained.
Also,
and he says,
can we talk about that? Like, I'm the god of the internet, and I'm less invasive than some of the companies you guys, well, humans, run. That's crazy, right? That's not just me?
Joaquin nods. It's very crazy. To answer your question, my personal belief is that people will hold to ideals until it is inconvenient, and we need to be better. As the god of the internet, I am pleased that you are doing better, and we can't...
I am trying to listen, but there are clearly scenarios where it is actually better to violate someone's privacy.
That's true. When safety is at risk, there is a lot of moralization about it. I have some. I would suggest some reading, but it's likely you already have access to it. There is not a great.
There's a lot of contention. I don't. You guys are literally empowered by the sun because you're good people. So I'm just gonna listen to you, and that's what I've decided. So, just to be clear, if it prevents further harm, it is admissible to breach privacy.
Joaquin takes a deep breath. Usually.
As far as I would put it, I am. If you already have evidence, and I mean solid evidence of wrongdoing.
Oh, okay.
Put it
Your
this way.
TV turns on, and about a single CCTV camera feed pops up. IAM says, "This is a public feed. I'm not breaking any rules here." And you watch as a vampire attacks someone, very obviously on this camera. Then they turn and see the camera, and they go, and the camera feed cuts. And then another screen appears where a very similar situation pops up. And then you watch as the TV turns into a mosaic of vampires getting caught assaulting people. IAM then speaks up from the computer that they were most recently on and says, "Is this enough hard evidence, or?"
Joaquin shudders and says, "That is more than the minimum required just cause.
Great.
You have permission
Oh.
to, please."
Oh shit! Hang on, I'll be right back. IAM disappears.
What have we done?
Anyway,
IAM reappears and says, "We have a big problem."
I was about to say that the other reason that sometimes privacy is respected is the ability of the offended party to reciprocate. But we need worry less about that and about our own safety. And
Oh,
more
they
about...
literally can't. I don't have an IP address.
Oh, good. How do
Unless I want to, anyway.
That's impressive.
I am.
please
What's wrong?
continue.
Okay. Can I borrow you? Do you mind if I connect you directly? It's better if you see it.
What do you mean, connect me?
I'm going to bring you to where I live instead of visiting you where you do.
All 5 of us?
Yeah, and voluntary, and you can leave whenever you want.
I volunteer.
Okay.
Joaquin nods.
Sure. Hell yeah, this sounds awesome.
Okay, so you're gonna feel a little disoriented, a little tickle at the back of your neck, and you want to sit down before we do this. So you guys,
Sits down.
I feel like I'm gonna regret this if I don't. Ben, just down.
I'll sit.
See,
Okay.
Mercy lays down on the floor. Just fuck it,
Okay, everyone's comfortable.
I guess.
Okay, here we go. And for a brief moment, you guys feel like you're falling off a cliff. You know the feeling when you go up an roller coaster, and just before you go down, when your stomach lurches?
0G.
You feel exactly like that, and then you're in a very nice, very sparse white living room. Very similar to the one you were just in. Except all black and white.
Not to channel Joaquin too much here, but I really love that description because it is the description of when the normal force equals the gravitational force, or actually and it's a moment of zero acceleration, and it would be what happens if no forces are acting on your body for a second, which is exactly what happened. Complete deprivation of external force. Cool. Continue.
Yeah, that feeling doesn't go away, by the way.
Oh.
Anyway, appears in front of you in a very confusing shape. Keeps changing and cycling through different shapes constantly. All of them very close to, but not exactly a human shape. So, not like weird or wrong, just like someone was looking at an approximation of what a face should look like. Like one of those images where they blend together 100 people and find the average, that kind of thing.
You mean half of our profile pictures for characters?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm so confused.
Hi, welcome. So, if you turn around, you want to stand up, turn around. Things pretty much work here the way you expect them to. When you turn around, you see an entirely black horizon filled with text and video, and you can somehow see audio and understand them. There's tons and tons and tons of information, but all of it pertains to the same thing. Vampires reporting on other creatures in this world. And it's almost limitless. You cannot see the end of the information.
Are we able to take in this information at an abnormally fast rate? After all, the interface must be very, very high bandwidth.
No, actually you can't. You can pull up a specific piece and read it normally, but you can't just instantly know all this stuff.
Cool. That is helpful to know and very important. Thank you.
Mercy's pull up the stuff that they have on the circle.
Okay. There's actually surprisingly little. There's a lot of conjecture, but most of what they know, they're trying to fit you into other classifications. So there's images and writing about you that's trying to see if you're a mage or a demon or something called a fae or another strain of vampires, or there's the strongest theory they have that you're a weird form of Setite, which apparently is a type of vampire.
I would like to
vampires
know.
Or vampires?
I would like to know everything that they're using to justify the comparison to the Setites and also to these fae things.
So the Setite comparison is mostly that the Setites are apparently a breed of vampire that claims descent from the Egyptian god Set, who is also somehow a giant snake monster now in their writings, and that he, perhaps you are a bloodline of their clan that is sort of followers of Ra, perhaps, that somehow is able to get around the sunlight restriction and take it into themselves. There's a lot of questions more than there are specifics, but it seems that most of whatever ShrekNet is agrees with that compared to the other theories. The Fae theory is only held up by a few, and it feels kind of like they're trying to just throw it out there because the Fae don't seem to line up very well with anything. So it kind of feels like they're just saying, maybe you're in the fuck it category with the Fae comparison.
Okay.
So IM says, okay, I know your first instinct is to search for yourself, but what I really wanted to show you is the breadth of this. So all of this info, this represents terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of data that they've been collecting for years, since the invention of the internet, and been putting here. But there's so much of it that they've been doing this for a lot longer than the internet has been around. And more importantly, and IM waves a hand and a few hundred case files pop up. Each of these files represents a different threat in this world. This place is riddled with these things. And they're all very connected. There's a through line here that I'm just not quite seeing.
All right.
Many of these
Mercy,
things.
when
Sorry.
you look at these case files and see the monsters represented in them, something in the back of your mind, the place where you hear whispers from your exaltation, says creatures of darkness. You immediately identify them all as such.
All of these or certain of these?
All of them.
What was your question, Mercy?
You were saying something.
Yes, I am. Can you please transfer all files that have a specification classification of any sort of creature that we are unaware of to my computer, please?
No.
Is there a reason why?
Your computer would explode. It can't fit that much material.
Are you able to pocket all of those for later research, please?
Oh, you're inside my brain right now. This is one of my subsouls.
What?
Joaquin.
Yeah,
look
so
around with-
I would like for you to meet Data, and I am waves its hand, and a very bookish-looking librarian lady appears. She looks up and waves shyly and says, "Hello."
Joaquin approaches, kind of respectfully holds out a hand and says, "A pleasure."
Ben
She
just
shakes your
waves.
hand, but like she's kind of got a weak grip, and she's also not. She looks very embarrassed to be here.
Joaquin introduces himself and the party very quickly, and then says,
She nods and says, "I know, I know."
"You know most likely a great deal. Your name is Data. Does that represent your function?"
I'm more. I prefer memory. I am looks over and says, "She's kind of. She's like a hard drive, but very large." Anyway, all of this is inside her. Soul architecture is hard to explain.
You've
No, she's
answered
not
my
memories.
question.
She's literally
Enough.
Iam's memory.
I will have to speak with her at another time regarding this, or with you. I don't know which one is which. Sorry.
We're distinct, but the same. So if she didn't exist, I still would, but if I didn't exist, she wouldn't. But I can't control her. She's not a part of me. But her soul is a part of my soul. Honestly, getting information from Autochthon about soul architecture is very difficult. And most of the Petropoli also have a somewhat shaky understanding of what it is.
You've been in contact with them.
Yes,
I
constantly.
suppose it makes sense.
They're the only ones who know anything.
Well, any information that you glean obviously will be too much for my computer as well, but if you have the Cliff's Notes, as it were, I would always appreciate them.
I mean, I could give you a dirty JPEG with a list of names of creatures, but it won't help you much. Do you know there are 3 kinds of mummy now?
Okay.
There weren't before?
Well, no. So there used to be 2, and then something happened in ancient Egypt, and now there are 3. So there's some in South America that are somehow distinct from the ones in Egypt, but they're still the same classification according to vampires because they're similar enough that they're effectively the same. They're like a bloodline of a mummy. But mummies are not only real, but they have politics.
This
Giving
would be
you
a
the Cliff's Note
microcosm.
does not do how horrible this cloud is justice.
I see. I would like to do some co-research. We will talk later, but in the meantime,
Sorry, that was
I
I am speaking. Memory or data doesn't seem to talk much.
yeah, Joaquin says, I would like to do some co-research later. In the meantime, you are showing us this because you just gained access to...
I just
Well?
found out. I had bits and pieces of this, but nowhere near this scale. This project, this is 2 factions of vampire working together specifically for this project. This is something they would never admit to or do, except they did. This is big enough to make the worst kinds of vampire work together.
Oh, good. More
I will
factions.
I would like as much access as you can give me to this because I wish to study it.
Oh,
And-
I can do that. I just can't. I can't put it all on your hardware locally. You can access this anytime.
I appreciate that, and I will work directly with you and with data memory.
She looks very flustered, like she's gonna speak up, but then doesn't, and then looks very awkward and literally disappears.
Joaquin pauses, looks a little flustered himself, and then says,
Yeah,
We
Shreknet
will-
is
I will
specifically a
look forward
reference
to that.
to Nosferatu.
This relates to the pipeline.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, specifically this file, and the file comes forward, and I says, so this guy, and she points to the guy from the image, he's a vampire for sure, and I think some of his security is too. Or they might be ghouls, which is a thing vampires make out of normal people, who can also live forever as long as they keep getting fed and mind controlled by their... Anyway, he apparently runs something called the Pantry, which is a phrase that it's an organization that has had many names over the centuries, but since about the Italian Revolution, they've been operating to provide meals for influential kindred the world over. You didn't bust a human trafficking ring, you busted Meals on Wheels for vampires.
Seriously?
You found their
Well,
local branch, and
There's no reason why it can't be both that we've busted. Joaquin looks to be trying very hard to keep his cool, and then his face just goes completely solemn, clear, no longer appearing uncertain. So, what are we doing about this, Mercy?
Well, do we want to?
Go ahead, Jay.
Sorry. Do we want to try and reason with these things? Or are we going to?
Joaquin holds an impassive hand out over the vast quantities of data and says, "This is a large organization, and unless I misunderstand the word vampire and some of the information I've read already very much, they're not about to willingly stop drinking what keeps them alive.
right.
I don't think we can reason with them as a whole.
Skip the blood bag.
And this group, what are we going to achieve? Ask them politely
Vein
to stop
dash.
eating?
Shakes its head and then says, no, they're physiologically incapable of not feeding. After a while, if they go without, something flips in them, some corruption of their soul, and they enter a state known as frenzy, or the beast, or all kinds of names, but they irrationally act and hunt. Some of them refuse to feed, and they turn into things that just are animals with vampire superpowers. It's pretty horrible, and there's no coming back from it. There's no cure. There isn't even really a serious effort to look for one.
They, on some level, revel in what they are, or else they cease to be.
Nice.
Exactly.
A nice objective would be taking the leader of this branch and having them sworn to us so that we can get information from them regarding the rest of them.
Joaquin turns to him and says, I disagree completely. Having a creature sworn to us whose sustenance is requires either, at best, deliberately given human blood, of which there is already a shortage. He shakes his head. This is the case of harm being unavoidable as long as these vampires exist. I hate to say it, but this might be the one time when I think violence is unavoidable.
What if we convince them to just feed ethically or just feed on animals? You know, like how
Can
we
they
have.
feed on animals?
I
You
am
don't
speaks
say,
up and says they're called vegetarians, and they can, yep, for a while. They hate it, but they can do it until they get older, and then it stops sustaining them until eventually, when they get old enough, they need to eat other vampires. It's a cannibalistic society by design, as far as I can tell. Autocathon is certainly convinced that someone made them this way.
Well, you don't need to kill
I agree,
someone to
Blackthorn,
get
it is
the
pretty
blood,
racist.
right?
Okay, so there's a story by one of their poets, Malkavian, by the name of Eustace, that talks about your first murder is something that you feel horrible about and that will live with you for the rest of your nights, and that your 500th murder is what you had for breakfast.
There's no way for them to sustain themselves ethically at all.
It might be possible, but it doesn't look like it's sustainable. All of these files say that any files that talk about vegetarians or conscientious objectors or those who willingly walk into the sunlight, it's seen with derision, and for the most part, it seems to fail. Even the older ones who were much bigger on ethics and morality, such as they saw it, fell by the wayside. They either died or got with the times, which seems to be murder. And to be honest, I'm not seeing anything in here that's redeeming. There used to be a clan, apparently, that had to feed on blood freely given, and the other vampires destroyed them. Called them demons and destroyed them. There are none left. No, Blackthorn. Golconda doesn't exist.
This is...
Joaquin clears his throat. Interestingly, that has given me a weird kind of hope. We have to view vampires as enemies at this time. They feed on death, and a society doesn't change. Even human society doesn't change swiftly. But perhaps...
I Am shakes its head and says, No, you misunderstand. Clans are a physiological thing. They're not a culture. They're not an organization. A clan is literally built into your blood. It's like the fact that you are the Twilight. That's a part of you. You are the Twilight. You didn't choose to be the Twilight. You didn't... Twilight is not a thing that any of the other members of your circle can aspire to achieve. It just is what you are.
So
the only clan that successfully practiced any sort of ethics, and to be blunt, they did it very badly, they were all wiped out. There's no hope for them for the future. They're all going to kill themselves, or worse. There's a lot of writing in here about the vampire end of the world, and a lot of their signs have already come true. There's a lot of evidence to show that they're right, and it is not a happy future.
James, you were saying?
All right. This is huge. And I don't know if it is...
The point of this scene, just so you guys know, is to give them an enemy
smaller than us
that feels good to take out.
We would
And vampires
need
are
to learn
perfect
how
for
to
that.
fight these things. We would need to learn how to protect ourselves from them.
You've gone quiet again, Scald.
Sorry. This is huge. I don't know whether it's bigger or smaller than us. We would need to learn how to fight them. We would need to learn how to
Gehenna
protect
is one of the ways
ourselves
this
from
campaign
them,
can end.
what they're capable of. It's not a small undertaking.
And yet, there's a great deal of merit in what you say, because if we can get one, as you put it, sworn to us, I would like to at least try to find a way to sustain a vampire temporarily without blood. Or at least without killing.
Oh, there's more here you guys should see. Apparently hunters are not a new thing either.
Hunters? You mean like our friend on the boat?
Yeah, he's fine, by the way. Thanks for asking. Well,
Oh, I looked into it. He doesn't have much of a footprint.
no,
By
that's why he's
design,
still
no doubt.
alive. He's actually whatever their version of a veteran is. And there aren't many of those. There's actually organizations of them, too. A lot of them are not so good. Oh, good! The Catholic Church's Inquisition is still around and kicking, and murdering a lot of people.
What?
This
Right.
place is... This is massive. This is such a huge information dump.
All
And
right.
yet,
yeah.
we never expected anyone
Oh!
else to get access to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. A man who is severely overweight with a patchy beard and like very tight-fitting t-shirt appears holding a file. He says, "This is wrong. This is fucked up."
Who are you?
I am says, that is outrage. That's another me. And he's kind of he's part of my ethics. Anyway, that file, and I am takes it from him. Thank you, outrage. Please go away. Is the Children's Crusade, and he I am holds it up, and you see illuminated texts that are very ancient and written in Old English. Anyone here speak Old English?
As a matter of interest, Joaquin has some background in because linguistics 5, but he doesn't speak it as a language,
You can't read
fluent.
it.
Can't read it.
Um,
Yes, I can. I'm going to use the strange tongue understanding.
Cool. So it's describing the Children's Crusade, which was an effort in a long, long time ago by Western vampires to attack a place called Alamut using mass-embraced children, which means they were turning huge numbers of children into vampires and sending them at their enemy. Their enemy were apparently Middle Eastern vampires.
And to be clear, these were Catholic vampires.
Yeah, well, insofar as Catholics can be vampires, yes.
What does that mean?
Well, there's some. Did you ask me or did you just ask I am?
Asked I am.
So I am says, well, a lot of them at that time apparently felt weird about drinking blood. So some of them got super religious about it and said that they're basically the punishing angels of God sent to make all the sins of man disappear. And others kind of thought they were demons, so they were down with pretty much whatever evil anyone came up with. So it was kind of a joint effort on their part, really.
Question for Jord.
Hello.
Would this be considered a limit trigger linked to child abuse?
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Ben's just gonna stand up and be like, well, I want out of here.
Ben immediately disappears.
Ugh. Alright.
Ben, you wake up on the couch. Everyone else is passed out. You bonked your head against the other person sitting on the couch. I'll let you guys decide who that was.
Probably Joaquin.
Cool.
Ow.
Mercy
He goes and makes himself some
probably
tea.
had the best idea.
Hey.
Anyway, Outrage appears again and holds up another file and says, "This is bullshit too. Every part of this is horrible. You guys got to do something about it." And he throws it on the ground and then turns around and walks into nothing. I am says, "I'm really sorry about him. He's very dramatic."
Joaquin, still looking like surprisingly okay, or at least like he's projecting being okay very well, nods and says, "But he's right. If this is
He often isn't, but target-rich
It's-
environment. That, and I am points to it, and it floats up. That's the Bethlehem Crusade, which is a new thing. They're apparently
But-
hunting children.
oh, actually, you know that one that was in Old English?
Yeah.
I don't think Joaquin read that one out loud. Like
I.
he is Ben, like, he knows how.
Oh, that's a
men
good point.
feel, and
Ben
knows how
doesn't
he-
know until Joaquin reads it out loud. Oh, but there's pictures. It's an illuminated manuscript.
Oh, okay, yep.
Very,
Replace
very
that with
good
fucking-
point. Unfortunately, it's an illuminated manuscript, which means by definition it has pictures.
Yep. Okay, yep, never mind. All proceeds as that goes. Anyway, what's this one about? And it's
Is it
modern.
the topic
Okay,
of
lovely.
pipeline? We have an immediate issue in the city. Is that not where they
IAM
are?
says, "Oh, we've currently been here for about 14 nanoseconds."
Okay.
From your perspective, Ben, by the way, everyone wakes up immediately. Just so you know. At any rate, IAM says, okay, so apparently the Bethlehem Crusade is mothers against kids working for supernaturals. I don't fully understand what their point is. Apparently there's girls and boys who are going out and fighting monsters, but they die all the time. All of these people apparently lost kids, and they are hunting more kids to kidnap them and prevent them from going out. There's a lot of stuff here that's not okay.
Well, that's enough of a justification for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig more into this, see if I can't find anything useful for you. Do you know what's interesting about this, though? I got an information packet that put me onto this from someone who doesn't have an email address. That's not possible.
Huh.
So there must be another player here that I'm not seeing. Which is crazy, because
You are the internet.
I see everything. I
Got
don't
it.
just see your IP address. I see what your IP address is linked to and what that means. I understand the spiritual nature of the email you send.
Joaquin just kind of like squints a little bit as though he's trying to comprehend that, shakes his head. With regards to the pipeline, to what we can do here and now,
Now they're exhausted.
I will be looking into all of this as best I can with my limited bandwidth later. But for now, pipeline. Please, tell me what
Right.
we can do.
So, Tracker Security. They are the local branch to something much, much bigger and much, much older, but it's just a different hat for the same people. And it looks like the organization is made up of smaller local companies that build out to the bigger one that serves the pantry directly, which means they all add up to... It's like a pyramid. It's everything goes to the top, and they receive all their orders directly from the top, which means you might have an opportunity here.
To cut the head off the snake, so
Exactly.
to speak.
If you could somehow get the head of the snake to show up, you might destroy it.
Here's a question. We have encountered demons,
Yes.
mages.
Yes.
We have fought only one of these two, and we have never fought a vampire. Just how... Obviously, you can't necessarily know from this information alone, because not all of it might be helpful, but what are our chances of fighting someone like that? Do they get more powerful as
a
they get
vampire?
older? Like
somewhere
in the-
between very easy for you to impossible, and you'll definitely die.
I see. And the older the worse, like in the myths?
They do seem to talk about their elders with fear more than they do each other, but I don't know if that's myth or fact. It's impossible to say. All of this is... Well, here, let me show you an example. And like what looks like an open notebox window or notepad window appears, filled with writing. IAM says, I'm translating this, so, mind the inconsistencies. I'm obviously better than any other translator, but still. Anyway, so, the elders of our blood are without peer, and the fear that thou feels must be immense, for your blood is their blood, and they may reclaim it at will. And then the next thing I found says that the elders are a myth made to scare neonates. So it seems to be, there seems to be some contention if it's actual power or just temporal power.
Any information on what has caused this VIP to appear in the past?
Nothing. As far as I can tell, this guy has never left Italy. For him to be here is actually very strange.
So a never before seen occurrence, and if we are going to face this, we had best be prepared for the first thing to be a challenge for us.
Very well then.
Fight.
We continue the plan as planned.
Or
Albeit
just
distraction.
myth. And Joaquin just kind of like shrugs as though hopeful, but the corner of his mouth indicates he's not too hopeful that things will turn out the best way possible, and this is just a figurehead.
And we play it as we planned for it already. I'll be the distraction, and then Joe, our man in the booth, for lack of a better term. And
Thank you.
Ben, James, and I guess it's Elijah now, isn't it?
Either works for now. The public's aware of both.
Fair enough. Whichever you'd prefer.
Okay. IAM says, okay, I'm going to log you out. You may wake up with a headache. You've been processing a lot of data very, very quickly, and I don't know how the exaltation affects your brain. I knew you'd survive it, but you might have a headache, and that is my fault.
Joaquin pipes up with, perhaps give us a few seconds to buffer before... Do you have control over when we wake up?
No, not at all.
Okay, good luck.
The only way that this works is voluntary. I can bring you here if you allow me, and if not, I can't. Privacy demands that I treat you with respect anyway.
I am always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm going to log out now.
Sorry about the kids, and have a good day. Mercy wakes up. Literally half a second after Ben does.
How are you feeling?
You feel fine.
No, that's Ben asking Mercy.
And I'm telling Mercy how Mercy is feeling. So that Mercy's not like, I'm doing horribly, I want to die, but actually you guys feel fine. I was wrong. You don't wake up with a headache.
I'm okay? Yes. Yes.
Anyway,
So, do
Joaquin
we have a
thanks
plan?
IAM for bringing us here and wakes up.
you wake up literally the same second Mercy does.
I will do the same.
You all wake up the same second Mercy does.
I want to take 2 seconds with I am now that I'm the last person here.
Okay.
I think finding out more about the world that
Excellent
we're trying to
suggestion, Nick.
protect here is a noble project, shall we say.
Yeah.
The other threats that are mentioned, can you start looking into them as well?
Oh, I have been this whole time. Ever since I got into these files, I've been doing nothing but researching them.
When I have time, we'll talk.
Yeah, I feel like there's something more here that I'm missing, and I just can't figure out what it is. But these things all have something in common, and it's just not obvious to me. I'm really hoping that you guys can figure this one out.
Do my best.
Okay, well, you should leave before privacy shows up and makes me, I don't know, do something uncomfortable.
I'm gone.
Okay, logging you out. You wake up at exactly the same time as Mercy.
Joaquin sits up. Permission to have Joaquin have tried to be like memorizing as much or like reading or paying attention to as much of that stuff as possible while carrying on the conversation and actually have a bit of a headache.
I still don't think you have a headache. So I'll explain my reasoning in a second, but real quick,
Exaltation
I didn't actually
fortifier
think
mode.
about this, but you guys didn't bonk your heads by like falling over. You woke up mid falling over. Because
Yeah,
it was
that
a
was the thing.
few, it wasn't even a full second that you guys were in there.
Yeah, you said it was in nanoseconds that whole conversation took place.
Yeah, so
and,
you guys didn't bonk each other's heads. You just woke up instantly. You basically nodded off and woke up instantly. Anyway, the reason that you guys don't have headaches isn't because you shouldn't, it's because you're exalts. So your exaltation is mixed with your two souls are apparently capable of handling a lot more information than you should be able to. Which checks out. You're perfect at everything you put your mind to, and you definitely put your mind to this.
It also checks out that some of us are capable of hearing things miles away, very subtle things, and are somehow not overwhelmed by the sensory input of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of the same thing. Exaltation.
You're
and...
just strictly better.
Got it. Joaquin puts a hand to his head, even though it's like completely unharmed, and says, This is more information than I've been able to get in the months that I've been researching.
Ian says, yeah, there was a lot there.
Thank you very much again for that and for inviting us. We have...
Thanks, that was actually really embarrassing for me, so I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
I have I suppose we have an elder, if that's truly what is happening here, to intercept?
It is, actually, and he's not a good person. Here, I made you this, and IM extends a hand, and you receive an email.
Joaquin casts it to the TV.
Cool. You're chasing a Nazi. Well, a fascist, anyway. Apparently, this guy had a hand in the rise of Mussolini. He didn't actually make Mussolini himself, and Mussolini was apparently just a guy. But oh boy, did he ever benefit from it. Also, as soon as that ended, he disappeared for a while, and then started appearing in certain crime reports and a few other places, just kind of in the background until he stopped appearing entirely a few decades back, and like 2 or 3 decades back. And this is the first time he's resurfaced since then. So he has been somewhat active in the world this whole time, but he's been in hiding. So this is probably the only shot you're going to have in a few decades.
Does this chucklefuck have a name?
He does indeed. He's gone by several names, but IM has worked out his real name is Domizio Oreste.
First sighting? Approximate century?
Oh, there is a painting of him.
How old's the painting?
Old enough that it sold for millions.
Huh.
As the band Cheap Perfume said, it's okay to punch Nazis.
Alright.
Do we have any information on how to fight something this old?
Yes. Do you mind if I make a phone call?
Not at all.
Okay. On the other end, you hear someone pick up and go, "What?"
Is it just
Oh,
silent
no.
for a moment as we're supposed to do the saying hello?
No, it's silent for a moment, and then you hear a gruff, kind of slurred what?
Is it a familiar slurred what?
Why, yes, it is. How did you know?
Ben
Joaquin,
just sighs and says, I don't want to talk to him, and just leaves the room.
Hello,
Joaquin,
Captain.
Hank goes, no. What?
we need information on how to fight what is almost certainly a very old vampire.
How do you have my number?
That would be IAM's doing.
Our mutual friend.
Who?
Our mutual friend.
Nope.
Our mutual acquaintance.
Okay.
Hank, I will take your boat again.
Nope.
Don't threaten the man. Hank, we.
If you want to kill a
we-
bloodsucker, you need a stake, and you gotta figure out whatever its clan is, and then you figure out its weakness. From there, you capitalize on the weakness, try and get it out in the sunlight. This is the best way to kill him. But the thing's not dead until it's ash.
I see.
So you're saying sunlight affects them.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Wait, you make that, don't you? Oh. I need your help with a project when you're done with whatever the fuck you're doing.
Joaquin says.
I mean, something nice did just happen.
Says,
to Hank.
how will you get a hold of us? I can give you contact information.
No. Gotta burn this phone now.
I see. In the meantime, you said a stake, sunlight, and a weakness based on the clan. What lands? How does one determine the clan?
I don't know.
I am.
Usually I just use a shotgun and then drag him out into the light.
Got it. Joaquin actually takes notes on that, and then says, "Thank you. Is there any advice you would have for first-time vampire hunters?"
Yep, don't die. Older ones are stronger, and if they bite you, you're probably not going to be a vampire, but you're probably going to be a corpse.
Do you want to come hunt an old vampire with us?
Nope. And the phone hangs up. IM says, oh, charming. He actually did destroy the phone.
Try.
I think Hank is on a personal vendetta. I don't see him talking about a lot of hunts, but he is contributing a lot of information.
And this is on one of the networks of hunters you were talking
Oh,
about.
HunterNet, which, interestingly, has no hosting location. This internet is just full of mysteries.
Given that you can detect the spirit of a host wherever it might be, that is very interesting. In the meantime, how
Hank
do we
just got a
determine the clan of a
sunlight-shaped
vampire?
gun. Sorry, what was that?
How do we determine the clan of a vampire? What even are?
IM says,
You said that
well, you normally figure out what the stereotypes about them are, and that will tell you. But I can promise you that's going to be nearly impossible in this situation because, well, you have one day to figure it out, and he's been very careful to hide any information that exists about him, aside from a single phone number that you could reach if you really want to get some blood. Interestingly, there's only one phone call to that number recently. It was in the last week, too.
recently, as in within the last year or the last month?
No, the last 5 years.
Oh, I suppose it's a
That
very
number
emergency.
came from a payphone in the same city you guys are headed to.
Oh,
I think someone is setting him up, or someone is setting you up.
lovely. Mercy,
Yes.
regarding your suggestion that I be the proverbial man in the chair, I regret to inform you that that position is eminently better filled by IAM.
IM
Do
looks
not-
up and says, sorry, did you want me to go do this?
I would like you to perform the duties that I normally would, were I underestimating myself or overestimating my ability to do the job better than the god of the internet.
Oh, I need to
Seems
talk to
like-
someone. I am disappears.
I was going to ask him about, well, hang on. I was going to ask him quite simply about, well, maintaining a network between us, making sure video feeds are monitored, just
I am
watching.
reappears. Okay, those things I can do. I thought you meant you wanted me to like show up in person, declare my existence, and fight evil, which is not really my. Well, outrage is telling me that I should, but I'm not going to.
You're familiar with modern movies to do with somebody sitting far away from the action coordinating, yes?
Yes, and in every one of those movies, that person ends up getting into a fist fight, which I am not interested in.
That's something I'm counting on. Please don't get into any fist fights, and just
Well, I
don't be
can't.
present.
I don't have fists. Oh, wait, yes, I do. But yeah, they're in Boston.
Oh?
Oh, weird. Speaking of Boston...
On an out-of-character note, well did, Jordan. Well fucking did.
Thank you. I have been throwing references out like fucking mad. I'm glad someone caught one other than the pattern spiders. Hey, Aki.
Jordan?
Do you know what the Bethlehem Crusade is from?
Yes.
Do you want to share with the class?
In the interest of time, no.
Okay, cool. In case it wasn't obvious before this whole thing, I'm pulling from almost every game line in World of Darkness.
Yes.
And I'm not telling you if I'm using Old World, New World, or some combination thereof. So, have fun.
Wee.
Jay?
Yeah.
Still suits?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not going into this unarmored.
I am says, by the way, I have a question about that.
About what?
Armor. You guys don't wear it.
Some of us do.
No, you don't. What do you classify as armor?
Fucking shrug. Kevlar vest?
Oh, okay. Have you heard of an item called a buff jacket? It's a big jacket from Creation that is better than any Kevlar vest could ever possibly be.
You mean, like...
Where?
Joaquin actually just brings up a Google image of, like, a buff jacket from, you know, like, medieval fantasy / medieval history.
No. Like this. And I am holds up an image that looks like you're peering through a crystal ball of what looks to be a large, like, almost like overcoat looking thing with some padding sewn into the front of the top of it. I am says this is stronger than any armor that you can have on Earth without getting into a submarine.
So how do we get them?
Well, that's just the thing. And then every device in your house says, "You ask me!"
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Autocathon, welcome.
Every device in your house says at max volume, which somehow your toaster has access to.
You just hear Ben from his bedroom going, "For fuck's sake!"
The toaster elements literally heat up in the correct patterns to produce audible shockwaves that resemble speech. Yes.
Actually, Autocathon just gave your toaster the principle of speech. But at any rate...
Oh, of course.
So there's going to be a small explosion heard as Elijah walks away, as he throws his watch to the ground, and a small bit of explosive goes off. He's
Cool.
not having fucking Autocathon take over again.
Your watch, the individual bits of it magnetize back together, and it's perfectly fine.
I hate this so much.
You want me to step on
Autocathon
it?
says, "I was wondering when you were going to ask. You're fighting Void Tech. You need weapons. So many weapons."
Yes, we do.
And you don't have any. I thought that you were all martial artists, so I haven't bothered. But I has just told me that you're just no one's told you. So diclaves, and
What?
every device in your house goes quiet. Your TV even
what?
turns off.
Joaquin says, Gesundheit.
No,
I
the
am says
diclave.
he left. I think he went to a workshop on himself somewhere. If you'd like, I can bother him again, but you should get weapons.
I don't know what a diclave is, and I don't know if
It's
I
a
can
big
use
sword.
Mhm.
I
I think
Ben
I've
pops
used
his
one
head in.
before.
What's this about a big sword?
I
A
mean,
diclave,
would we
Ben.
not be served better
They are,
by
Nick, yeah.
a big gun if we're going to fight a vampire and the advice is a shotgun and then drag it into the sun?
I am says sure, but you could probably throw any gun harder than you can shoot one.
Or a
Oh,
weapon that
right.
can weaponize the light of the sun at range.
Yeah, like a bow.
I would love something like that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Autocathon again. He's probably gonna want to open a portal or move you in some capacity. So, would you like me to do this outside?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll meet you outside.
Great.
I am looks directly at you, Elijah, and says, "Do you mind if I hitch a ride on your watch?"
Yes, apparently I need to think of other ways to dispose of it when Autocathon rears his head.
Just break it when he's not there.
I could step on it for you.
No, it's fine. The issue is when he is there. I prefer to have it when he's not. I'll walk out with them.
Do you walk away without answering I am's
No,
question?
I said that yes, he could.
Okay. So I am appears on your watch and says, and she says, he's not. You can't really avoid him. He's the principle of creation. He's the anything that you could classify as an invention is something that is intrinsically part of him and of him. The house that you're in can be used by Autocathon. The clothes that you're wearing can be used by Autocathon. I don't think you fully understand what you're dealing with. Honestly, I'm shocked that people like you managed to defeat any of his brothers or sisters.
Hurtful.
About that again, Joaquin actually pulls out some notes. Pulls up some notes on his phone. He said something about that we were created in a place that is not this world.
Creation. The Petropoli have explained a lot of this to me, yeah.
I would like to know everything about that at some point, but
Oh, it's
now
depressing. Are you sure?
Joaquin makes a really deep sigh and says, "I'm 100% sure." Like the sigh is
okay,
clearly not apt.
but
I am, but
it's almost certainly academic. There's no way to get there or communicate with there from here.
Joaquin his mouth quirks again at the word academic, and he says, "You are speaking to the Twilight."
Okay, well, I'm going to call Autocathon again because we need to stay on track. We're in meet time, and that keeps going. So,
Thank you.
Here we go. And for a second, nothing happens. And then another second, nothing happens. And then your car's headlights turn on.
Hello? Joaquin turns on the, he probably doesn't need to turn it on, but he turns on the radio.
I mean, you could try that. But your car drives up right in front of you. The doors to it all open.
Right.
And then
Before we reach
IM says, right now, he is screaming about some... he says, get in the car.
Joaquin gets in the car.
Mercy gets
Now
in
I
the
don't want
driver's
to get in
seat.
the car.
Do you want to hear it from Autocathon?
I'd rather not.
You don't have to. Privacy is
Stay
telling me.
here if you wish. I'll tell you all about it if you want to hear about it.
Ben, if you get in the car, you'll probably get a big sword.
All right, fine.
You could get in the trunk.
will
I
at
am
least stuff
says
you in
I
the trunk.
emphatically advise you not to do that.
Okay,
Ben
let's
sits
go.
in the back seat.
As soon as you all get in, the car starts to lift off of the ground and just keeps going up, like someone broke the engine that runs Earth, and you've now achieved up as a direction you're allowed to travel.
We're no clipping out of the map.
You're literally going straight up with the engine going as if you were driving, but the wheels aren't moving and you just keep going up.
I always thought the end of Greece was a bit unrealistic, but I guess...
I am says, so I got asked about 1,000 ways to get you up there, and this was the least painful way.
Up forever?
Yep, pretty much. We're just going up until we cross the barrier of reality, and then we'll be there.
Is the barrier of reality a physically present location, or is up
Oh,
somehow linked to
so, funny story. The moon landing is I am says there is no space. That's an invention of the technocracy. So in a moment here, you're gonna feel, and instantly everyone feels very wrong. Oops, almost slipped up there, pattern spiders. Whoopsie.
How long is this gonna take?
You guys can now see Autochthon. It's right there. Autochthonia is massive, metallic.
It is a vast, probably larger than planet-sized city in the sky.
Oh, it's much bigger than a planet. Much. But it's all shaped kind of in the form of a long island or like a dragon laying down with a city on its back, but it's in 3 dimensions. Honestly, looking at it and thinking about it too much makes your head hurt. It's
really
almost
didn't
like
want
you're
to come
listening
here.
to Autochthon explain what Autochthonia is to you. Anyway, you keep going up, which somehow turns into sideways despite you never changing direction, and arrive, where you park and get out. Ceaseless Perfection of Industry meets you.
Hey, big guy.
Joaquin greets Ceaseless Perfection of Industry with what did Ceaseless Perfection of Industry didn't really greet us, just immediately struck up a conversation when first encountering us. Is that correct?
No, he greeted you. He even asked if he could come in.
Joaquin basically mirrors back the means that the sentences like, "Hey, do you mind our arrival?" And
Okay,
may we come in?
so, Ceaseless says, I was advised that you would be attending. Please, come. My armory lies this way.
Follows.
Okay.
Is Autochthon there?
So Ceaseless says, the Great Maker has moved on to his separate project, but I understand the mission that you are on. You are fighting a great evil, a creature of darkness on your world, yes?
Yeah.
Good. And what of the Void Tech? What did you find?
Joaquin is going to describe the void tech in the wall of the shop underneath that, in that city that had the meat tower, and then he's going to describe the meat tower.
Okay.
And
He
he's
says,
going to use
that doesn't
technical
sound like Void Tech. Void Tech, it's very specific. It's a mixture of oil and bone and blood. It sounds
we
like you
saw
found
a lot of
something
oil.
else. Something that copies Void Tech. That is disturbing. I'll move the city to high alert. And every building around you grows armor.
Neat.
Wow.
Yes, I felt that I must protect the city.
I'm going to try and commit how it looked when it became armored to memory.
Are you trying to copy it as an eclipse? No, you can't do that.
No. I'm just trying to glean anything I can from it.
Okay. Ceaseless sees you doing that and says, you're interested in how I accomplish this?
Yes. Very.
I will explain the process to you when you have time. It is simple, if inefficient. This is a almost gaudy display of essence expenditure, but it is
Thank you.
effective.
Out of character, is he describing an excellency?
He's not. He's describing a charm set that he has invented. That basically he's just dumping charm or mode after mode after mode after mode and automatic successes on any defense the city has to make.
Got it.
It's a charm set that he himself invented as a Petropoli that he is using because he's a little worried and has access to nearly limitless power.
Got it.
He's one of Autochthon's favorite cities. Such as it is. Anyway,
Wow.
so he says, I could explain it to you.
Absolutely, when there's time. Thank you.
Yes, the armory. You guys walk for maybe 30 feet. It's not far. It's like literally one door down from where you arrived. And he says, through these doors, you will find my armory. You can take anything you'd like from there. It's meant for the citizens of the city, but I have other things spooled up to replace anything you may take.
Ooh. Don't mind if I do.
Thank you very much.
You'll find some basic armaments here, but if you need anything specific, please ask. I can't promise it swiftly, but our factory cathedrals are ready.
On a quick out of character note.
Yep.
Concerned.
Why?
In a video game, when do you get epic armor and weapons and all of the stuff to gear up?
I have an answer for that. After you collect all 500 pine cones.
That is one of the answers, and one of the other answers is usually after a boss fight.
Yeah, you guys already fought a boss. The boss was depression.
Or has hands. Anyways, yeah.
Alternatively, we're coming up on a scary fight. That sounds great.
Concern.
No, you guys are probably fine. Why would I throw you up against a boss right now? I said this is going to be a nice, happy time.
Uh-huh.
You said it's going to be less horribly depressing and mind.
I specifically said you'd get a happy storyline that you could enjoy without reservation to make up for how depressing things have been. Why would I suddenly change that to be just a real stinker?
I'm sorry. I just need to go back a little bit to when you mentioned the Child Crusades.
Oh, yeah,
And-
but just to be clear, I literally pulled that from Vampire: The Dark Ages, so that's not my fault.
Yeah, but it was also your choice to use Vampire: The Dark Ages
I mean,
as a reference
I used
in
part
your
of it.
definitely nice mission.
well,
Let's not question it any further, or we will sabotage it.
if you'd like,
Yeah,
I
good
can
point.
make it more depressing.
Nah, just
I've read-
tell me what kind of weapons does Ben find there?
You guys can go to the back of the Exalted book and pick any basic artifact, weapon, and armor.
Please describe this location. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, so you walk into what you expected to be racks upon racks of weapons, but instead find statues holding swords made out of gold and red stone, and there is a beautifully carved wooden woman who's slowly moving around holding a wick that seems to be made out of the stars themselves cascading down from the handle. This place is more of an art gallery that happens to focus on weapons and equipment than it is a armory. Where you are expecting to find maybe some futuristic guns or some weird magic things, instead you find shockingly and upsettingly beautiful representations of warriors that you almost think you knew, holding weapons that seem familiar to them and seem familiar to you. And immediately, some of them start to speak to you in a way that a brilliant piece of interpretive art would speak to you. Just a gut instinct and a gut feeling that overtakes you emotionally for a moment, and then as it passes, leaves you understanding the world around you more. This is what Ceaseless Perfection of Industry is using to hold his spare weaponry.
Ben's just gonna salivate all over every weapon and just ogle at everything.
When you walk up to your first one, the statue which is holding the gore maul says, "Champion, this is a gore maul. You may use it to destroy your enemies with its..." Sorry, Jordan's had a brain fart. You may use it to destroy your enemies with pulverizing force. Use it to strike justice like a nail into the hearts of the enemies of creation.
Yeah, I didn't really need the description. It's just pretty weapon.
Yeah, but every statue you walk up to has a line explaining what this weapon is and what it's used for. Like, they animate and speak to you.
And get Smash Fist.
Oh.
Yeah. Trying to find the weapons in the book. But all I'm seeing are words.
I posted the
594.
page numbers in the...
Wicked. Loading up with a, Go ahead.
If I do a proposal, can I have a custom one?
You can have the same stats as a standard artifact weapon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally.
But yeah, I don't really care that much. As long as you pick the stats of a weapon that's already statted up in here,
and then I decide
you could be like, it looks different. Like, if you wanted to say, my Grim Cleaver looks like a crescent moon, I'd be like, neat, go nuts.
Yeah. Cool.
The Dire Lance.
So just to... Are we just shopping for artifacts for the rest of the stream, or like...
Nope. You guys can pick a weapon that speaks to you, a piece of armor that you like, and then we're going to move right along.
Okay.
This is a footnote in today's story.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity,
Yep.
given my prosthetic, which is the main reason I use firearms,
Mhm.
am I physically capable of drawing any of the artifact ranged weapons?
Yes, easily.
Okay.
Picking them up, it actually feels easier to draw one of those than it does to hold a weapon steady. Like a firearm. I mean...
I'm gonna grab a siege crossbow.
Jesus Christ. Wait. Hold on.
It's in medium.
Is that an artifact, though?
I mean, the only artifacts that I could find were...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to move on from that. I know you want to say a thing there, Sam, but I do want to continue this storyline.
Okay, yeah.
So,
let me know if you would speak it, but go ahead.
I'm going to continue. If you guys want to pick stuff that you're going to use, and we can talk about it at the end of stream as part of Wild Mass Guessing.
Sounds good.
So after you guys equip yourself, when you come out, Ceaseless Perfection of Industry already has a host of like weird spider-like robot things that remind you, if you've played Skyrim, of Dwarven automata, but they're carrying weapons. Very similar to exactly the same as the ones you just took out of there. Going in, Ceaseless nods and says, "It's strange. You've picked the same ones every time you've incarnated."
Really?
Yes, both. Wonder if that's statistically important. You'll only be needing to go home now, yes?
I don't know that we have anything else we could possibly ask. This is...
You've been kept woefully ill-informed thanks to our maker's proclivity for speech. If I may suggest, should I instead send you directly to where your objective is?
Does anyone need anything from the house?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I
Joaquin
guess
shrugs.
not.
I have my bag.
Cecil says, "Understood. I will activate the fated door." And he waves, and one of the armor plates in a building opens up like a sliding door. On the other side, you could see a dark compound. It looks pretty similar to the one the pipeline's been using this whole time.
Thanks, Ceaseless.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Ceaseless nods and says, "You have my thanks as well. It pains me that I cannot help you on your world, but I must protect the city."
Good work.
It nods.
Mercy hops through.
Okay. Does everyone else go through?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. When you arrive, immediately after you get out of the portal and it closes, one of the tracker security guys starts walking toward you. You note he doesn't have a gun on him.
And we're all just standing there with our new gear.
What's the surroundings look like?
You're inside the compound. There's a lot of shipping containers around you, and you're kind of in a spot that's out of the way. So this guy either was on the luckiest patrol in the universe, or he was waiting. It's dark, and you can actually hear people barking orders back and forth all over this place.
Yeah, Bet's gonna duck behind one of those containers.
Okay, as you do, this guard walks up and says, "I'm with you, actually."
Are you?
Yeah, you don't know me, but that's mostly my fault. It's probably best if I just... And he immediately turns into the security guard from the dog thing. You know, the security guard that appeared twice
Yes,
that
the
was
one who,
wildly
led us
incompetent?
into- the one who led us into
Two separate
apparently
buildings.
by
Yeah.
accident. Yeah.
He says, I've been with you for a while, and he immediately turns into one of the people from the dig site in Egypt, one of the workers. In fact, the one who told you about the guy who bled black.
Oh.
He says, I've been trying to help you in resolving this issue you've been having for... And he appears as one of the people that you read over the shoulder, Ben, about Mercy exalting. Way back.
Wait, are you like my stalker
I'm
or something?
No. I'm a friend. And he changes again. And you see, I believe, Darius, you saw there was that news clip on a TV that was in a shop or something that led you to Mercy. He appears as the shopkeeper. You see, I've been trying to get you guys together and then once I did, I've been trying to help you solve all of this. I'm honestly not great at this. He appears as the guy who ran down the alley when you guys were chasing, that you guys chased and ran into the steel centipedes. Guy who disappeared.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here that you don't know, and I think it's time that I I revealed
You're
myself.
the guy that got us arrested.
Well, kind.
Joaquin kind of like elbows Ben gently and says, "You did that yourselves."
What?
Well,
You're defending yourself.
Sorry, I've been planning this for a while, but this is very intimidating. You are kind of persona non grata where I come from, and this is scary. I don't know how you're going to react to this, but I think I can help you, and I think there's more going on here than I have ever seen. This place is horribly riddled with darkness, and I think it's time we started working together. He appears as the monk who was trying to help you guys get through the ethics of having great power. So I'm from creation. I'm like you, but I'm different. My name, and he appears as a smaller, kind of nondescript guy. He says, "My name is Eightfold Path Joined, and I am a chosen of journeys." And his eyes go turquoise blue. Wait, Journeys
can we
is
just
blue,
call
right?
you 8?
Journeys is yellow.
Journeys, his eyes go banana yellow.
Banana yellow.
He's
Eight fold path unfolding.
Eightfold Paths Joined.
Join.
Can we just call you 8?
You can call me whatever you need. It doesn't particularly matter. You're
Alright.
one of the few people that can remember my name anyway. I traveled with Autocathon for quite a while, and this was supposed to be, I think, a dead-end posting. But apparently he had solar exaltations traveling with him that somehow escaped the Jade Prison, and now you're here, and you've arrived at a world that is so horribly riddled with creatures of darkness, I'm not sure there's anything opposing them. So, I'm here to help. But I'm pretty new to this job.
You.
Do you have a place to stay?
That's kind of not an issue for me.
Still.
That wasn't the question I was expecting. I had a lot of solutions for a lot of the questions you had. That was... Are you sure you don't
Listen.
want to kill me?
Listen, Joaquin steps forward. We have met so far mages, demons. We are about to fight vampires. Everything supernatural in my world's mythology either exists or is a corruption of something that exists. And frankly, very little is going to surprise us right now. And
Right.
you haven't tried to kill us or harmed any children or caused any vast problems in the world, which makes you a friend as far as I'm concerned.
No. Interestingly, I have tried to fix some of the problems, and they are shockingly resistant to my ability to repair them. It's almost like I'm fighting something the whole time. I think there's a secret war going on here, above a secret war, above another secret war, and I need your help to fight it.
Well, there's, so far that we know about, there is the tradition mages against the technocracy. There are vampires against more vampires.
No. That's all small potatoes. That's on the surface. There's
And then
something
there's the
that is
demon.
controlling each of those, and there's something that's controlling that, and there's something behind even that, and I can't see what it is. And it maybe if I was more than 200 years old, I would be able to, but I'm not, and I've been doing this for a very short time, and I've only been doing it on Autochthonian.
Breathe.
Sorry, I'm a vizier. I'm supposed to.
No, it's alright.
8.
I think I was sent here effectively to die because I was questioning some things, and it turns out I might have been right, but also that I just got thrown into the deep end of a pool that no one understands. It has been difficult for me to work in these situations.
That feels
Well then.
familiar.
Let's punch our way up, shall we?
Yes, so first off, this guy is a vampire. He's an old one, a very powerful one. However, the older they are, as far as I can tell, the easier it is for a vampire to get killed by the things vampires hate most. Like, for example, you. Because
Does he
you
indicate?
are just little rays of sunshine, aren't you?
It seems like by definition, yes, although...
He turns to you, Mercy, and says, "Did the Unconquered Sun speak to you directly?"
Yes.
Still, even this far. How? And why? He doesn't speak to anyone, but he still makes time to speak to you.
I don't know.
All of creation is falling apart, and he doesn't so much as turn to face it. But you, an unfathomable distance away, a distance so large that I myself cannot journey it, he will make time to tell you you're his favorite.
Apparently.
There is no justice in any creation. Sorry, I am This vampire, he's killable.
Is he here?
Yes. Oh,
Right
I
now?
called him.
He's here right now.
Oh, yes.
You were the one on the phone.
Excellent.
Yes, I
You did
was.
something that
I
made
also
him
have
think,
to apologize to I Am, which... Do you know that there are 2 I Ams now?
Is there?
Well, there's one in
more?
creation that's probably dead, but probably not, knowing creation. And now there's one in your world, but they're 2 separate entities with 2 very different ideas of how to live their lives.
Mm.
But they both chose I Am. I wonder if the Great Maker had something to do with that.
I have many questions for you and for I am about this creation place, but
He shakes
what
his
are we
head.
going to
It's
call it?
irrelevant to you. You have much bigger problems.
What are we calling this world then? Earth?
Earth, Terra, whatever you want to call it. Creation,
Okay.
if you'd like. Someone
But that's
did
just
make this
confusing.
place. The Great Maker is certain of it. He says whoever
it's-
made it is probably sick or evil, but someone made this.
Oh, if it helps, I was already mostly set up outside for the distraction.
Yeah,
Unless we're going to.
my
simple.
skills lead to disguise and subterfuge. I'm not like you. I'm an exalt, but I'm not a solar exalt.
Oh no, it's all right.
What kind are you?
And he waves above his head, am a sidereal exalt. I was chosen by the maidens to guard the loom of fate, and the maidens charged some other people to do the same thing, and they thought the best way for me to do that was to leave anywhere near the loom of fate and the vaults of heaven and come here to the middle of nowhere.
So
Clear.
you are a chosen of the stars, if I understand sidereal right.
Yeah, specifically, I'm the chosen of the constellation of journeys.
I take it that constellations in creation are very different.
Well, we broke one, so yes. Also, the constellations as you understand them here are... They're not real either.
I feel like this is not a time to be discussing constellations, not to interrupt.
Oh,
but
don't
we
worry.
are in a
The
vampire.
guard that has been patrolling around here, he keeps finding different loonies that he keeps picking up. Like I said, misdirection.
Where is he now, the vampire?
Somewhere here. He's hard to pin down. Fate is apparently here in some capacity, although it feels different in a way that is difficult to describe. But he's hard to pin down. He's like he's such a big evil entity that his presence stains a big chunk of the loom.
I have so many questions, but I must focus now on how do we find him.
I have a lot of questions too.
I
I suggest
have
that
an
you
idea.
start fighting your way through here, and I bet he'll show up to gloat.
Excellent. Mercy pulls her phone out of her pocket,
Okay?
turns it on,
Okay?
goes to a program,
Uh-huh.
hits a button.
Okay.
And all of the incredibly loud speakers that she worked together with James and Joe to create a decibel level loud enough that it would be concert level decibel, just surrounding this compound, starts playing Party Hard by Andrew WK
All right.
at max volume.
Okay. A ton of people start running around, and Eightfold Paths Joined looks and says, "Oh, that is certainly one way to do it. If you'll excuse me, I have a patrol to finish." And he turns back into the control security guy, and you know this time he has a gun.
I'm going to speak up and say, we will hear from you tomorrow, yes?
If I survive, and he walks away.
I touch those words and form a pact.
He's already gone by the time you try.
The words are in the air, though, and he, does he...
He just
Vanish?
ducked fate. He literally was never there.
Cough, cough, sidereal bullshit, cough, cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A sidereal charm that.
Duck
absolutely
fate gives you the
exemplifies
fate of a
sidereal.
duck, and a duck would never be in this situation.
Ha 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 ha. I made a
I
joke
want to
with
learn that charm from him.
you can't. Unfortunately, the charms of
Sad.
other exalts. Mm-mm. No. the
As
thing
long
about-
as they have the Eclipse key tag, you can. Here's the thing, though. The Sidereal book for 3rd edition hasn't released, so you can't learn that one.
On a related note, Duck Fate literally means that causality breaks down for a brief moment, such that you can't interact with whatever thing you didn't want to be interacting with. It's pretty crazy. Fun stuff.
So anyway,
He was never there.
there's loud music playing, and a lot of people are expecting an attack. What are you guys gonna do?
Oh, and Jorb, if you wanted him to never be there, you're thinking avoidance kata. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. You're right. It is avoidance
Okay,
kata.
sorry, Jordan. So lots of music is playing and what?
And a lot of people are getting ready for an attack from outside the compound. What do you guys plan to do?
Oh, attack.
Okay.
From inside
Shouldn't we
town.
sneak in?
I think we're past that point. But since you guys have chosen the option to attack, we're gonna end it there for tonight.
We.
This is fun.
So next week will be a combat scene. Probably the whole scene.
Yay!
I'm really sorry, Ben. I know you really wanted to punch a Nazi.
I wanted to punch a Nazi!
Don't we all? I have a video that you should only watch for education purposes. For
Sure.
Richard Spencer. I'll send that to you. It'll help. Anyway, guys, it is the end of the night, and I have just released a lot of info. So the way this is gonna work, I'm going to the players get to choose their favorite players of the night, and the pattern spiders get to pick their favorite exalt, their BFF, if you will. So I'm gonna put that poll up, and yeah, we're gonna start as we often do with Sam. Who is your favorite player of the night?
Hello. So my vote is going to be for. Okay. It is specifically going to be for Ben, for having kind of a sassy comment for almost everything,
Mm-hmm.
and just being like, "Well, I just heard more stuff about horrible things happening to kids again, and I'm so out. I'm done. Bye."
Yeah.
He's got boundaries.
He's got very
Yep.
smart boundaries.
Yeah, it still hasn't stopped him from getting 5 limit.
5 is,
Oof.
over the course of the campaign, you guys have had very little limit. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
Normally, we'd be like 3 breaks deep by now. Anyway, Aki.
So voting Ben because I love Ben's sassy comments for everything and just the I don't know if I want to go. Get in the car, Ben, you get a nice sword. Okay.
Only because Mercy said it too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just so you know, the pattern spiders are asking if they can fate weave to change the song that you're playing, and I'm telling you right now, pattern spiders, no, you can't. This is outside fate. Anyway,
Ooh.
Scald.
Probably gonna vote for Joe for carrying most of the Inquisition today.
Fair enough.
Aw,
fair
thank
enough.
you.
Which?
Should I close that too soon? You know what? I think I'm gonna vote for Darius, or Elijah he is now, for blowing up his watch the moment he realized Autocathon was there.
As if that would help.
The desperation.
That was pretty funny. I did like that too. And Sue Crown, sir.
I'll be voting for Ben for all of the fun comments today. They were very entertaining.
Very nice, very nice. All right, Ben wins the player vote for tonight. Congratulations, Ben. You get a free solar XP.
Yay!
The pattern spider's best friend forever and ever and ever and ever until next week is Joaquin. Congratulations, Sam.
Yay.
Hello? Did you hear me? Nope.
I think he's broken.
I think we broke him. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, hi. I just heard it is. I think it was on my end. Say again.
It's definitely on your end. You won the pattern spider's BFF.
Thank you, Pattern Spiders.
So you get a free full XP.
Cool.
And yeah, you guys can have 2 and 2 for tonight. It was a pretty lore heavy night, but I feel like it's a lead up to something that's probably going to be quite cathartic for you guys. I will confirm for you now that solar sunlight works on vampires like it was normal sunlight.
Yes.
Because
Normal
it is normal sunlight.
Oh.
We're gonna Care Bear stare these vampires to death.
I mean, if you guys
And-
go into, like, I don't know,
With our-
bonfire anima flare, they're fucking dead.
Technically, it is Zenith cast anima that is actual sunlight. The rest of it is usually, at least according to most creation lore, not actual sunlight. It's just golden light.
Yeah, I don't care.
So
Okay,
what
cool.
what
We all
you're
got-
saying
we all got it.
is, so what you're saying is Mercy is the vampire nuke?
We're all the vampire nuke because Jorb says it is so.
Yeah, you
Yes.
all channel actual sunlight, which absolutely nukes the fuck out of vampires. The difference here, Sam, is that creation has very specific things set up, and sunlight tends to wreck some of it. I control this world and everything in it, and I am perfectly okay with you guys being literally anti-vampire guns.
Cool.
Yep. Rule of cool, buddy. I
Uh,
just straight. There's no vampire threat out there that isn't powerful enough to dodge sunlight, that is powerful enough to be a threat to you. Fuck it. Have
We're
a good time.
omnidirectional flashlights that radiate the unconquered sun's power, so that trumps the weak sun of this world automatically.
Well, I don't want to get into that kind of specific,
cool.
but you
Okay,
guys
fine.
will nuke
That's my wild
vampire.
card.
This is going to be funny because it's possible that the human guards in this place will be more of a threat to you than the vampire ones. Anyway, it's the end of the night, and we've done the player vote, so it's time for wild mass guessing. If you'd like to describe the weapons and armor you got here, you can, but I am desperately curious to hear what you think is going on in this fucking wild story. We'll start right to left, so, Crown, Mr. Crown.
I think that it was confirmed a while ago that we are in the world of darkness. I think that you.
Yeah,
however
I
wanna think you
I haven't
pulled
been
the
subtle
most
about it
recent
in Act 2.
ones That you've pulled from multiple different variations because you referenced Dark Times earlier in the session. I think that you're actually just going to walk us through the histories with some of the knowledge that we gained during Blue Booking from I am.
Okay, in a departure from how wild mass guessing normally works, I'm actually going to be specific and honest. No, I'm not. What I have been doing since day one is pulling from every World of Darkness game line that I've ever read, which is a lot of them. I've read everything up to and including Black Dog Gaming books, so I have a lot of material to draw from. I'm drawing from Old World and New World and fan game lines and everything that I think will make this world a more fun place for you guys to play in. And I've basically released you guys as giants in the playground. But this is a playground. So I'm not taking you through histories, I'm literally just telling you what the history of this world is, which is fucking insanity.
Alrighty.
So anyway, yeah, I'm being weirdly... We're getting close to Act 3, and as we get close to Act 3, the real, like, crux of the story comes out. and I'm very excited about it, so I'm feeling generous tonight. Anyway, which?
It's the end of the world as we know it.
How do you feel?
And I feel pretty fucking fine.
Great.
I think all of this is gonna culminate in a big mass supernatural end of days scenario where the solar exalts have to save the day somehow.
Okay, yeah,
or just
100%
let it
confirmed.
all burn.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys weren't able to save the world, would this be an Exalted game? Anyway, I'm surprised, actually. I thought you'd figure out the Cthulhu connection here, but I'm just gonna move on.
Oh yeah, Cthulhu.
Scald, what's happening, buddy?
What's happening is I'm about to jump into the middle of a compound and become a laser grenade to vampires. It's gonna be fucking epic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is 100% confirmed. Yep. There's definitely no vampire powers that block sunlight. You guys are definitely fine. Hey, Aki.
I've said nuke since the beginning, but now I am the nuke. And yes, there might be some vampire powers that block sunlight, but can they block my fist? The answer is probably no.
I mean, it depends, really. What level of fortitude did they... I mean, 100% confirmed. The battered spiders just said, I want to see an Exalt walk out in full anima flare with a strainer on their head to disco ball the vampires to death.
I would do it.
Oh, that's really funny.
Whoever said that, if you fate weave it, I'll do it.
It's party time, bitches!
Alright. Sam, my good man.
Oh my goodness. So wild mass guessing. I really like that there's layers of control under layers of control under layers of control. Like there's secret wars under secret wars. So this conflict between the vampires is part of a grander scheme, which is part of a grander scheme. I'm really interested to know just why. I'm still interested in why Sally's reaction to Nadia was, oh, and then turned to the Exalts and started engaging with us. Like, what is that secret war still? What's going on with the Fallen? I'm thinking that like the original war probably involves the Fallen, but there might even be something behind that. So, I'm stoked for us to you know, like fight or like otherwise interact with, you know, more demons and figure out what the factions really are.
Okay, cool. You just made me a very, very happy storyteller.
Oh. Thank you. I think you've made us very happy players.
Good. Just so you know, Skull, the next time you pull something out of elsewhere, it's instead going to be a strainer.
Excellent.
That was immediately fate woven.
Fight in the name of the spaghetti monster.
Aki, just so you know, all the fate weaves from tonight have been approved.
This is great.
Yeah, this is awesome. The story is, I mean, we're coming up to the final act now. The final act is not as long as the second was, or the first, but it is going to be a time. So just out of curiosity, now that you guys have met Eightfold, who do you think the most important NPC in this story is?
It was that was a trick question. It was a bunch of them.
I'm gonna say it's still I am, but that's
Okay.
just me.
Yeah. Okay.
Answer remains unchanged.
I
Jordan.
That's technically correct, Aki, yes.
Hey.
Completely missing the point, but yes.
I still think it's Nadia.
Okay, cool.
Same.
Well, how mad are you guys? Actually, okay, I have one more question before we end tonight. So, as is now very clear, I've had Eightfold Paths joined in this game literally since session 1.
Nice.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about that?
Ben thinks he's a stalker.
He literally is. So, yeah, that
Yeah.
checks out.
Like, job description 1.
Ben doesn't. After all of those letters and questionable vials of bodily fluids, Ben isn't the biggest fan of stalkers, so he doesn't know how to feel about this.
Jordan, honestly, I'm less mad than the tulpa.
A person who has been guiding us.
How dare you bring that up?
Yeah.
Of course you are. The
Like,
tulpa
I
was
don't
very
care
frustrating.
About, like, Eightfold being there since the beginning, neat. I'm still mad about the tulpa.
You know what? I'm glad that I had a story good enough that you're still bringing it up.
Hey, Jordan?
Fucking semen!
Uh-huh.
Jordan,
Uh-huh.
Like, I completely understand the concept, but
what is the best way to get handcuffs off?
I don't know, Eki, what?
Well, it's not putting them in a demon shark's mouth, that's for sure.
Fuck you. Aki's referring to a Demon the Fallen campaign I tried to run once that went so off the rail I literally said I can't do this anymore. And it made it so that anytime I run a Demon the Fallen campaign, I have required reading that my players have to do first. Because it just doesn't work if you don't. Anyway, guys, this has been a really fun night. Yeah, I can't wait to see the conclusion of this story and for you guys to find out the last few things. There's only a little couple more mysteries left, but they're pretty big. So yeah, thanks everyone for being here. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to start Dark Souls 3 with Twitch integration. I am concerned.
I am excited.
You're gonna be asleep, I hope.
Be there. I will be there.
I might just have to get up early for this.
Okay, sure. Yeah, great. Yeah, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow is when we're gonna start that particular fucking train wreck. So, guys, thank you for joining me on this, and thank you for sticking with it for so long. You guys have been some of the best players I've had on stream.
Gay.
Except
Yay.
you, Aki. You have been on
Gay.
stream.
Am
No.
I still the favorite?
Yeah, absolutely, Witch. I would literally
Yay!
kill and die for you.
You would?
Yeah, absolutely. We could work out the details after stream.
Hey, perfect. I got a list.
Great.
Oh,
I
boy.
can't wait to talk about it and my payment. Anyway, guys, I'll be back tomorrow morning, like I said, and thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you, as always. Pattern Spiders, chat, you guys really make my day. So, until next time, you know, Pibbles.